podcast is back. I'm Trevor. This is Juan, and welcome to the Sports Dynasty podcast.
How y'all doing, guys? Lovely Friday, breaking the fourth wall.
Yes, always breaking the fourth wall.
We gotta actually really do always break the fourth wall. We don't give a rat's ass about production etiquette, do we?
We try to, but I think we're just better off that way being real. You know, I'm all about breaking walls like Jericho. But it's neither here nor there.
Oh my gosh. We do need to do another wrestling thing. I'm waiting for Showdown to finish. That's what it is.
Yeah, probably.
So probably the week after. Probably 2 weeks from now we'll have a
isn't Showdown next week?
Circle. Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next week, yeah.
Yeah, like on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Maybe they'll see me taking a picture next to Peyton Manning's statue and be an Indy next week.
Oh, Indy. Oh.
Yeah. So I should try to sneak in the combine, right?
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
That would be lit. Yeah. All right. That's a good waste of first minute. All right. So let's talk about real quick the new CBA thing that's going to get rejected this Tuesday.
Yes, because there's no way. So if you guys didn't know, the owners had, produced a proposal for the 2021 CBA agreement, which said that they wanted to extend the regular season one game from 16 games to 17 games. They wanted to add 2 new postseason playoffs teams into the playoffs. So adding a number 7 seed, which means that only the number 1 seed would get the first round bye, and seeds 2 through 7 will play in wild card weekend. If this proposal was set, the Pittsburgh Steelers would have been the 7th seed in the AFC, and the Rams would have been the 7th seed in the NFC. And also concluding that they would have given up 1 preseason game, so instead of being 4, it'll be 3. And then they'll obviously have, you know how marijuana was one of the big reasons why people get suspended.
Well, just Gordon. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
But they decided with this new proposal that you won't get suspended for smoking marijuana.
That's probably the best thing about this by far. Yes. Because it was kind of ridiculous at this point that there were people really losing like paychecks and all that over it.
Yes. So you probably think a lot of fans like the new deal. And me personally, if I'm part of the Players Association, I'm telling the owners to go fuck themselves. Because I am not accepting this deal. First of all, there was nothing wrong with the 16-game format. Absolutely nothing wrong. It was probably one of the best formats in all of sports. Literally, 16 games. You had 4 from the NFC. You had 8 of an AFC. You played the division to win it twice each year, and you played the cross record of who you finished first, second, third, fourth. Yeah, perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. And you have a rotation of every 4 years playing each division, depending on the NFC every 4 years, and every other division every 3 years. It's perfect.
Yeah,
thing.
Literally, like it's probably the best format in sports, to be 100% honest. Very, very well. And one of the only sports, I think, besides maybe the baseball, that actually gives division a meaning. Because basketball definitely does not care about division anymore, but football does.
Me personally, I think it's dumb. Like and my thing is that they complain about, they want to worry about player safety. But how you can have a player safety if you have add another game where you could potentially, be injured, and then you're talking about each team will have to play. The starters will have to play. No one can play more than 16 games in the regular season. That's stupid. Like, I don't want to see Baltimore versus Kansas City with the Ravens not having. It'll be Robert Griffin III and Nat Moore as starting quarterbacks. Who wants to see that shit? No, it's dumb. It's stupid. That's one. And secondly, the playoff format. Why are we adding a 7th seed? We're already adding a 7th seed to these postseason. The NFL only had 12 teams coming in. That's less than 30% of the league making the playoff, which is perfect because you're not diluting the postseason. First of all, with that being said, you risk having a 9-7, 8-8, 7-9 team making the postseason and then making a run. Listen, 7-9 teams should not be in the postseason. Now, granted, there's a lot of times you have a division where the division winner is 9-7, 8 or 8, and then a team who's 10-6 misses the playoff because they didn't win the division. Me personally, they should have just top 6 records of each conference going to the playoffs, and that's it. Because to me, I think it's really wrong for a 12-4, 11-5 team have to go on the road to go on the road to face a division winner who's 8-8. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. But that's not even here nor there. But this is a stupid rule. This is a stupid proposal. I would not sign it. It's shit.
Yeah, the players are not gonna go for this. Plus, they're not getting anywhere near as much money as they should. When they said that they're gonna probably get $5 billion off these TV deals, but these guys are only getting thousands of dollars about pay raises. But like, nah, like no. And then like the veterans will get like a couple million. Like no. They're when was the year? Was it 2010?
2010.
Was the lockout?
Yeah.
We might be seeing that again.
And they signed they agreed to one of the worst CBA deals in the history of sports.
Yeah, Patriots fans know that.
Yeah, horrible.
And Saints fans know that.
You have a chance to really come back to the table and really take back the league. The NBA, as far as the Players Association, is light years ahead better than y'all. Baseball, light years ahead better than y'all. Hockey, to a certain extent, even though y'all better than hockey's players union because they're not really big enough in the United States. I mean, they are, but it's not like they don't generate these lucrative TV deals like you guys do. And the NFL generates over $50 billion a year. $50 billion. And y'all only getting 48% of the pie. Really 48% cut.
That's what I'm saying.
That's shit. 50%. 50-50. And then when you're at it, try to get health care for everybody. Why is it that the NBA and MLB has free health care until they're 65 years old, even after they retire? The current thing right now is once you retire, you'll be 5 years until you retire, until your benefits kick in. And if in the NFL, it only kicks in for 5 seasons, after 5 years. After 5 years, no more health care. And everybody needs health care. Shit's just fucked up in this country anyway. Why would you... Wow, come on, man. Listen. Tuesday, they're going to reject it, and they need to get a better deal. And they find an even worse deal than they did in 2010, then y'all forever be slaves to these owners and to the league because y'all really looking bad. And then the worst part is y'all complain. Y'all complain about, why it's not fair. But you gave these people this power. Roger Goodell.
Yeah, well, now's your time to take it back, basically.
Take it back. Anyway, so that's what I say about that shit.
Yeah, well, hopefully we will see a big different, but we might see a different NFL coming up. We'll see. We'll see how everything goes. Hopefully we'll see an NFL next September. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But for right now, we are going to be talking about the free agency project again for the NFC North this time.
Okay. So
we're going to start with the division winner, the Green Bay Packers. Their salary cap is projected to be $23 million. Basically 23.9 according to overthecap.com. All right. So their host for me, at least, you got yourself ready? All right, yes. My bad. My man's ready with his own little research job going on. I like that. The host I got is wide receiver, offensive tackle, guard, linebacker, and kicker, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, wide receiver is pretty obvious that it's just Davante Adams. What I saw hilarious is that looking at all the salaries, Davante Adams is the only receiver in the team that's making $1 million or more. Just from that alone, that tells you what type of state that wide receiving core is. It's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, they need to get another receiver to help out Davante Adams. Maybe a slot guy. Wouldn't be very nice. Offensive tackle, Bulaga is going to be a free agent, and I don't think he was that good last year, to be 100% honest. He was okay. He's the right tackle. I remember the right tackle getting obliterated more times than supposed to.
And he's very injury prone.
Yeah, so they should probably do something about that. They already have Bakhtiari, who's probably the best pass blocking left tackle in football, so they already got that on the way. I said guard because they don't have any depth there. And then you see what happened to that offensive line when they deal with dominant defensive lines, such as the 49ers. They get absolutely obliterated. That's not the best example because they did it to everyone. But you've seen it more than once. I see Philadelphia doing the same things, and they have a pretty good defensive line themselves. And they were giving Aaron Rodgers the work down low because of the line. So they can get some talent and some depth. There's nothing wrong with getting offensive line depth. Linebacker Blake Martinez was by far their leading tackler in the team, and he's a free agent. The next linebacker had only 37 tackles.
Jesus.
Yeah. Blake Martinez had 110. This dude, the next person had 37.
Soft.
Yeah. And what you saw in the NFC Championship game.
They got pulled around, man. It's terrible.
It was pretty pathetic. Not play though had more resistance. It was ridiculous. So they need to get linebackers just for the run defense alone. They rank middle of the pack for run defense, but this time you got to go by eye test, and yeah, they suck. And the kicker, Mason Crosby, free agent, so they have a chance because he's usually more up than down, but there be times where we're just like, yo, what's up with this dude, son? He missed like 5 kicks in the game.
It was early in the year when he missed like 3 big ones and then did an extra point. But
that's what I'm saying.
And
still
ended up winning the game anyway. I forgot what game it was, but yeah, the kicking situation in the league in general is it's
pretty bad.
It's really bad.
But this is one of the teams. It's not the worst for this team, but it's in the bottom somewhere. That's like, yo, they kind of need a kicker.
Yeah, it's not as bad as the other teams in the division, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, definitely. So, is there anything else before I go to
honestly speaking, I think they need to find tight end. Tight end is going to be a problem because
I'll get to that in solutions. I like you said that.
Jimmy, I tell you, they definitely need to. That's going to be a kicker.
I was fighting between that and kicker. That's why. But there's someone they have at that tight end that, all right, I'm fine with. For my first solution, I think they can get Emmanuel Sanders. I think he is the perfect receiver to complement Devontae Adams. Great route runner, shifty, has good downfield speed still when he broke his freaking Achilles like 2 years ago, he still got the downfield speed. He still got it. So as long as he's still himself, that's a great compliment, and I think they need someone like him. Restructure Jimmy Graham's deal because he's making like $8 million, and he's barely even worth $2 million. So they need to, if he wants to stay in the team, they need to restructure that and kick his ass out. One or the other.
I was going to say kick him out. I think they think
one or the other. If it's like $2 million, that's not that big of a cap hit.
I mean,
so that's fine.
If he feels that Edwards, he should just be humble because he's not the same Jimmy Graham he was in New Orleans.
The minute he left New Orleans, he was trash.
Yeah.
So as you can see, he's a product of the system, product of Drew Brees. So come on now. But they do have Jay Sternberger. He didn't barely play last year. He's a rookie. He was pretty good. That I thought New England should have drafted. Yeah. He's a good blocker and everything. So that's why I'm like, maybe not tight end, but they're 6 out of like thing.
Also for wide receiver, I think they could find a reasonable receiver for them. Even though I don't think he's in the right system, he's great. I think Robbie Anderson would be a good fit there too. Robbie Anderson would be
good downfield speed.
And also he can help. I think he's not the number one receiver. He was not a number one receiver in the Jets, but
he won't be number one receiver here, and he got Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly, but the least difference is if he goes to the Packers, it won't be like, oh, he's the main priority. And if he can stay healthy, he's pretty decent. So Robbie Anderson or Brashard Perriman is a option too. I was gonna say Amari Cooper, but Amari Cooper's
way too expensive.
Way too expensive, especially with the cap they have now. I don't see how.
Way too expensive. I think those two are good choices.
Yeah.
There's a couple guards in free agency. If you want to spend money, Andres Pete, Brandon Sheriff, and Joe Tooney are all free agents, and they're great. All three are really good guards.
Yes.
The thing with Andres Pete, I think he's a little injury prone, but Brandon Sheriff is one of the best guards in the game, and Joe Tooney has become one of the better guards in the game. So if you want to spend some money, there you go.
Especially Joe Tooney, he don't want some money.
That's what I'm saying. So right there, I actually said to resign Bulaga and Crosby just on very short deals, very short, very cheap deals. If they want a lot of bank, they need to go. But just to have them, you know what I mean?
I think
the kicker's hard to come by.
I think Bulaga, they're gonna resign him as well.
Me too.
But the problem is, I agree with what you were saying. I think that he's gonna demand more money and they're gonna cave in. I think they're gonna cave in too.
That's not good.
I think they're gonna cave in. So,
and they can address linebackers, defensive end, because that's a need, but not that big of a need. Young kicker to go behind Crosby, and a quarterback in the draft. They don't have a backup plan, and they should by now. Aaron Rodgers has at least, I think, 3 years left, I'd say. Yes. 2 or 3 years left before he becomes, it's time for you to bounce. So I think that they should really start getting, they should have been starting looking quarterback option, but they should start looking now. Good?
Yes.
All right. Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Right now, their salary, not right now, when I did this research a couple of days ago, their salary cap is only $1.3 million, but that was before they cut Everson Griffin, or Everson Griffin didn't accept the option, because the player option apparently. Yeah. So they got plus $13 million off of that. And I think they did something else, but I don't remember. So right there, I have 1 point thing, but it's probably 13, 14 million is probably what their cap actually is. I can't say core anything because I don't know. But their needs are actually kind of obvious. Cornerback, for the love of God, they need a cornerback probably more than the NFC East. And we already went about that on Tuesday. They need it bad. Trey Waynes is their best corner probably by far, and he's a free agent. And he also isn't anything. He sucks too. And Rhodes fell off a cliff, so I don't know what's up with that. Offensive guard. They are 20. They were, according to Pro Football Focus, they were the 27th ranked pass offensive line, which is absolutely dreadful. And they were 19th overall offensive line, which is bottom 15, so bottom 17. So they need to do something. They need to get some talent. So I say go guard and tackle. Their run blocking was the reason why they wound up being 19th when their pass defense was 27th. They did run block very well for Dalvin Cook, as you saw. So both of those, I put guard and tackle, those 2 and 3, they need to get that. Like, come on. You only have 1 year with an okay quarterback, so at least try to protect the guy and give him no excuses. 4, wide receiver. Stephon Diggs is getting a lot of rumors in, and we'll talk about that in the solutions part. And they don't have any depth. They only have Thielen, and Thielen missed almost the entirety of 2019 with lower body injuries, so they really should get some wide receiver depth. And since this class, at least, is very thick in wide receiver talent, they should go grab like 2, just to make sure. And 5, quarterback. Get a backup option and get ready for life after Kirk Cousins. Maybe by next year, we'll see how he plays.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but on the off chance that it is, have the backup quarterback.
Also, can I also add?
Of course.
You
gotta ask.
Also,
talk.
The most important they got to do right now, Dan Bailey, they got to resign him. Resign.
Oh
him.
yeah, definitely.
You have to, because Kai Forbath was absolutely dreadful last year, and he was dreadful for the Patriots too. That's why he only there for a game, and he got rid of his punk ass. But the point is not. The Vikings struggle a lot with the kicking for the last couple of years, especially with Blair Walsh and Kai Forbath. Dan Bailey, they got from the Cowboys late in the middle of the year last year. To re-sign them because, like I said, the kickers in the league right now is bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So yeah, re-sign them.
That's part of the solutions. So for my first solution is find a way out of the Xavier Rhodes deal. Get that money back as soon as possible. You got to cut him, you got to trade him, you got to restructure, whatever you want to do. Get that cash back ASAP because you obviously need it. Now, number 2, trade Diggs. I think that's best for both of you, both him and you.
He clearly doesn't want to be there.
He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't like the lack of touches. He really doesn't. So you will more than likely get at least 1 first-round pick for him. You might get first in a couple seconds, first a couple thirds, whatever. But he's worth first-round pick. Obviously, he's one of the best receivers in the game and probably the best route runner in the game. So you're getting a first-round pick. So with 2 first-round picks in your possession, I believe you got 2 if you get him. I think they have 1, right? I'm not bugging? Okay. Because people be trading. I forget all the trades going on. You could easily get 1 of the top receiver talents if you have 2 first-round picks. So trade them.
Honestly speaking, I don't feel I know what they're gonna trade him to.
All right, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Dave says I already wrote that, so they cut Everson Griffin. You have enough money to maybe get one of the better guards, maybe, because you will have 14, so you can give one of the guards like 7 or 8 million, and that's the only guy you probably sign for agency. But at least you have a top-notch guard to help your offensive line out because it needs it. Remember what you said about the Packers? We're gonna sign a lower tiered receiver for speed. I said the same thing for them to replace Stephon Diggs' legs, like a Brashad Perriman or Denard Robinson, who just won the ring. He's a fast guy.
Yeah.
Go take the top off or reach for Ronnie Anderson, like I said. So I got that for Vikings. And you could address cornerback, more offensive line quarterback, and another receiver in the draft. Yes. I think all my solutions end with the draft. Is that all you got more to say or no?
That's it.
All right. Next is Chicago Bears. They have about 5.5 million of salary cap according to overthecap.com. Number 1 need. You want to say it together?
Quarterback. Jesus.
We don't have to explain. We're going to move on. Everybody should know this by now. Next is center. I actually didn't know this. They drafted a center named James Daniels, right? They moved him to left guard, and he was successful there. So they don't have a center. So you should probably get him. Trying to get a center. And probably like the top 1 in the draft. You should probably get that. They were the 25th ranked overall offensive line corner Pro Football Focus. Some of that probably has to do with Trubisky, but not all of it. Not a quarterback cannot bring you to 25 overall. No. So you suck. So you need to get some talent there. And center helps.
Horrible.
Offensive tackle. I forgot his full name, but that right tackle, Massey, I know he's a bum. I feel it in my soul. I'm so sure I do as a bum. So you need to get, offensive lineman. And it's not much for Trubisky. Is to help out David Montgomery. He's a pretty good back. Help him. Get him some offensive line help. Because you need to get the ball the quarterback hands as much as possible. So go ahead, get offensive lineman. How about what's his face? I just said his name. David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen. And then maybe you could run more option plays for bum ass Trubisky. Since I know you're not going to get rid of him. So there you go. Pass rush. The only person that can pass rush in the team is Khalil Mack. So we should probably help him out. Leonard Floyd sucks. Like bad. Like really bad. And he's getting a $13 million hit off this cap this year.
They were expecting him to have a breakout year, and it's like, even though Khalil Mack was being double teamed for most of this year, he still has not been able to.
Outplayed him.
It's like, listen, man.
Leonard Floyd sucks.
Even though Chicago's front office, and that's a whole other story too. they're pretty dumb because they were even considering trading Khalil Mack after getting him. Because,
how you trade a first round pick? Whatever, dog. Like,
it's Chicago.
Yeah.
It's Chicago. I was listening. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Why would you trade Khalil Mack for? That's stupid.
No, get him help.
Like, listen, for real.
Get
him by himself.
And the next thing I got is wide receiver. Because it's just Allen Robinson and Taylor Gabriel, I believe, is just a slot guy. So he shouldn't be playing an X receiver role right beside Allen Robinson. So you should get another outside thing, like Robbie Anderson might help. Mm-hmm. Then again, you still need to fix the quarterback before you can actually see the difference. But in plugging in rosters, plugging in slots, you should get another X receiver, an outside receiver. People don't know what X receiver is. Anything else?
Yeah, but yes, I do.
Yeah.
Even though they won't, you have to trade for a quarterback, even though they're not gonna get a quarterback in the draft anyway because they didn't barely have any first round picks anyway. So. Listen, Cam Newton, honestly speaking, I don't see him being in Carolina very long. I think they may trade him at the draft, whatever. They're gonna trade him. He's not gonna be there too long. I think I'm moving in a different direction. You need
maybe Cam Newton. That's not bad.
Give Carolina what they need. Give Carolina whatever it takes. You need because Trubisky, honestly speaking, 3 years we've seen enough in 3 years. He's not good. He's not good. Cam Newton with that team, with another receiver like you mentioned before, Robbie Anderson, they're a quarterback away from really.
They've been a quarterback away for 2 years. This is a good roster, especially 2018. That was a Super Bowl contending team if they had just a mid-tier quarterback.
I agree.
So that was my second solution. Get rid of Trubisky as soon as possible and get another quarterback. I would say get Foles, but I don't know if you can work the cap enough. You only have $5 million. He's taking like 20 something.
Yeah, so
because Jacksonville's retarded. So but he would help. I think Matt Nagy would work for him. My first solution was to sell him Leonard Floyd thing because he's taking $13 million off the cap. And if you get rid of him, that might help you get Nick Foles. Sign Everson Griffin. He's a good overall defensive end that can help Khalil Mack greatly. He's a good run stuffer and a good pass rusher. He's not great, but he's good, and that's all you really need because he gets respect from the line. So they respect him. Khalil Mack won't get double teamed as much. He'll make more work. So you need to get an overall good end.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and 4, Trevathan is a free agent.
Oh, about to say that too, yeah.
Get him back. He works the system really well, and he's a good, not great, not amazing, but good overall end. And linebacker, I'm sorry. Go ahead and get him. Very good tackler. And I will address quarterback, receiver, corner, because you could use a little bit of help for Kyle Fuller.
Safety too, because Clinton Dix is a free agent as well.
That is true.
That is true. I think they might re-sign him.
They might re-sign him. Him and Eddie Goldman's good. Defensive end, I said, and offensive tackle that all could be done in the draft. And pause real quick, guys. We are back, guys. Okay, now we're up to the last team, the Detroit Lions, and their 2020 salary cap is going to be $45.9 million according to OverTheCap.com. And their needs are, for one, cornerback.
Coach, but we'll leave that shit. Coach, we'll leave that something else, though. Okay.
We're talking about players, but okay.
Okay.
Cornerback. Because according to news, they're shopping Darius Slay. So if they're shopping him, that means they're just doing a complete revamp of the secondary. Because their other corners are probably some of the worst corners you will ever see in the history of the NFL. And you think I'd be exaggerating, probably only slightly. And I'm going to tell you why right now.
Go ahead.
So in Pro Football Reference, the Bible of all football stats.
Absolutely.
you can go ahead and advance defense, and you can check how many completions dudes have allowed and their percentage and how deep they were, how many touchdowns, and blah, 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 blah. You can see all that, right? Throughout the entire NFL, not just team. They have 2 corners that are in the top 18 in completions allowed.
Jesus Christ. For the year alone.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible.
One of them is in the top 10.
I wonder who that is.
His name is, you're not going to say his name anywhere. I'm lying, it was Justin Coleman. Justin Coleman is a guy that's top 10 in that. And not just completions. You see the rest of it. But anyway, I'm trying to remember if he was the one, or was it a Dallas dude that allowed almost 1,000 yards. One of the two was one allowed 1,000. I forget which one. But anyway, yeah. The reason why Justin Coleman is doing that bad is because he's playing a position that he's not good at. He is a slot corner. He reminds me 100% of Kyle Arrington. If there are Patriots fans listening to this right now, do y'all remember Kyle Arrington? People hated him for a reason because he would get absolutely obliterated in the outside. You know, Chris Matthews in Super Bowl 49, for example. The reason why is because he is a pure slot corner. When you line him in the slot, he used to erase people, like how Jonathan Jones did up until December last year, like that. If you put him on the outside, he'll get destroyed. At least Jonathan Jones isn't that bad. He won't get destroyed a lot of the time, just some of the time. Yeah, Arrington will get destroyed all of the time in the outside, and that was Justin Coleman. So they used him wrong. And you think, and speaking of coach, Matt Patricia know that because his dumb ass is the one that coached him in New England. So you think he will know what to do, but correct not. Yeah, so they had to revamp that entire secondary. Speaking of secondary, safety. I don't know a damn soul that plays safety in their team. Not at all.
I think not even that fans know who they
are. So that is point taken right there.
The Lions are a lost cause.
Yeah,
that's
they really are.
They're a lost cause.
Now, next, defensive end. They only have Trey Flowers, and that's it. By the way, their pass defense, I believe it was last in the NFL. I believe it was last. I'm 90% sure it was last. So they could not stop the pass. Save their lives. And I did talk about their disgusting secondary position, but pass defense also includes pass rush. And they don't have that. So Trey Flowers is there, right? Who's pretty decent at getting pressures and all that. So their next best defensive end had only 15 pressures throughout the year. 15. People can get that in like 3 games. Maybe less. So they need talent defensive end position. Oh, I forgot. I did write it down. They were the worst pass defense, and they were the 21st rush defense. Yeah, they need new line. Just line. Next, linebackers. So you know what this means, right? Their entire defense needs talent. Everyone needs to get replaced. That's basically not Darius Slade, who also wasn't that good last year, by the way. He got a Pro Bowl because of name, not because of production. He wasn't that good either. And Trey Flowers. Those are the only guys they have that has a name of anything. Everybody else is god-awful, and they need more people. Yeah. That's not entirely true. There's a couple. There's like a linebacker for name that's okay, but they need talent. Their highest linebacker that got the most tackles was 63. People got double that in the league. Just saying. So, yeah, they need that. And fifth, defensive tackle. See, literally, the entire defense needs to get rapid, which says something about their offense. Their line, according to Pro Football Focus, was, I believe, 5th. Their line used to be like 30th back like a couple years ago. So they have a great offensive line. Their receiving core is very good, missing a slot receiver. That's what they're missing. And their running back, I think they should get another one because I forgot his name. Kerryon Johnson gets hurt a decent amount, so they should probably get another one. And Matthew Stafford's not the worst quarterback in the world, but they should probably draft that too. But we're getting to solutions after this. But my point is their offense is actually pretty good, and they put up points a lot of the time. So that's why I'm just focusing on defense alone, just defense. They need that. Snacks Harrison, who just got cut today, was one of my solutions. He is completely outdated. He is just a fat guy who gets plugs in the line. That's it. We need athleticism in the defense tackle position. You know, Aaron Donald, things like that. I mean, if they fight Aaron Donald, they good. Mind you, they had a chance to draft him, by the way, but they had Ndamukong Suh, and they swore they're gonna keep him, and Ndamukong Suh's at peace.
But it's the Lions. The Lions shit organization. Like, what did you expect?
But they need more athleticism and a better interior rush, no question, to stop their dead last pass defense. Do you have anything extra before I go on to the solutions?
Go to solutions, please.
Yeah. So they have a chance to actually get Logan Ryan, who's coming off free agency. Pat Patricia was his coach for the entirety of his rookie campaign, so he knows how to use him. So that could be someone to keep with Darius Slay, because Logan Ryan is not a number one corner. So do not trade Darius Slay. That would be pretty stupid. How about you give Darius Slay some help? So go get Logan Ryan, because you have lots of money, and that will move Justin Coleman to the slot corner position which he belongs, and your secondary will be already 3 times is better, which is still whack, but at least it's not, god awfully bad.
Can't be worse than that.
Sign Jason Pierre-Paul. That will help you out graciously on both types of defense, both rush and pass. He's a good pass rusher and a great run stuffer. That'll help you out and help out Trey Flowers, please. Third, Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy is ridiculously versatile, being in New England for the last 3 years, and that fat guy as a coach coached him for most of that tenure, so he knows how to use him. So yeah, you should probably get him.
Yeah, go back to Detroit.
Yeah, but with a coach who knows how to actually use him.
And with more money, obviously.
Okay.
Also, I don't know if you have it. Denny Shelton will be a help on the team too.
He would. My next thing was actually defense tackle. Eliminate Max Harrison, which they did. Yeah. So check off that checklist right now.
Yes, you did.
Danny Shelton, again, in the New England tenure with a guy who coached them for a year. In this, no, he left.
He left.
He left.
But it's still the same system.
Yeah, it is.
So same system. It's literally going to be New England Central, literally.
Yeah, so he did very well last year. So just watch that tape, and he knows how to use Danny Shelton like Belichick did. So just do that. You can address running back, another corner, because that will really help. Another defensive tackle with real athleticism, because Danny Shelton is still technically a nose tackle, but he at least is not as slow and fat as Damon Harrison is. So that's fine. Wide receiver to get a slot one, and safety. Probably safety is the most important thing you need to get in the draft. So whoever's the top safety prospect, and you have a top 5 pick, I'm not mistaken, right? Detroit, like 4th or 5th, something like that.
They're 4th.
Yeah, so you can either trade down and get the top safety, or if you want, just get him then. I don't know. I would do that. I trade down.
I'm the third.
Right? So you should probably get the top safety prospect, because god dang, you need it. That's all my solution. Got anything else?
Can't say better myself.
All right. So
besides getting rid of the owners, the everybody,
oh yeah.
So the team, family.
Look.
That's a hard
look. There is nothing worse in a sports franchise than having ridiculously bad ownership. So anything that we're saying right now for a certain organization, like the Lions, like the Redskins, things like that, whose ownership is some of the worst in sports, nothing is going to save them. So we're pretty much saying this for no reason, but we can't exclude them. So we're giving out what we would do if the owners didn't exist.
I can't wait till you do a list of that.
We'll have fun.
Really funny. Yeah.
We'll have fun. But that is the final team, obviously, of the NFC North. Next, I believe we will do the West, which will also be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Because one of them just came off Super Bowl appearance. One of them came off the playoff. The other one was actually pretty decent. And the other one is the Rams. So... that will be the Rams. Gonna be hard because they're on purgatory. It's gonna be very hard to try to fix them.
Did I not say that shit early in the year? I said, it's coming, and it's here.
They're in purgatory, so I don't know what we're gonna do with them. So they're probably the last team I'll try to attack. That's gonna be hard. But San Fran is gonna be easy, and Seattle's not that hard either, but maybe not so much. And Arizona's not that hard either. I know what they need. So we'll get to that on Wednesday's episode. And speaking of Wednesday's episodes, oh my God, we have a treat for you, and I will keep it a surprise.
Yes,
I will keep it a surprise. It's gonna be lit, as the millennials will say. I'm probably gonna say that in every episode now. Okay. All right, my guy.
Besides that, like, share, subscribe. We're on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify. We are on Google Play Radio. We're on iHeartradio, at Podcast Dynasty, at Twitter, and of course, we appreciate your support and
support more. I need more downloads and more faces and more ears listening and watching. I need it. We're good, and we're good. Also, I know y'all can join in, right? I'm just saying.
You can always join the conversations.
I'm just saying, you can go right ahead and hit one of us up and be like, y'all want to appear on the show. I mean, I can bring one of y'all to the location.
Absolutely.
I got Skype. I mean, hey, Facebook. Hello. You can go Facebook Live, which that's an idea. I was going to talk to you about that, but that will be off air. Well, okay, blah, blah, blah. More rambling. We got stuff to do. We also have a basketball thing we got to do later. We're taking too long. All right. With that all said, we love you guys. Peace out.